Hello, my name is Patrick Rowan, and this is my lab report for Lab 2 of Physics 2212, which is on charged tape. So in this lab report, I'll be going through an introduction, which will go through the purpose of the lab, the fundamental physics principles utilized in the lab, as well as assumptions that I had to make in order to successfully calculate the charge of the tape. I'll go through an experimenting code section, as well as a results section where I'll show the computed charge as well as sources of error, and then go into a discussion section which revolves around the what ifs and why question. Um, so the purpose of the lab was to utilize the data obtained in Lab 1 and apply it to the new concepts that we learned in the past couple weeks of class in order to gain a better understanding of the interactions between two lines of charge, and use that information to determine the magnitude of the charge on the electrically charged piece of tape a little bit more accurately. So the fundamental physics principles utilized in order to find that magnitude is Newton's second law, the electrical force equation or Coulomb's law, as well as the force of gravity. But then also we needed to use the equation for an electrical field of a line charge, as well as the principle of superposition, which takes the E net or F net at a observation point for multiple different points of charge, which we had to do in order to calculate the force on the one tape by the other tape. So as a quick preamble to the results that I'll go over later, I'm just showing the difference here between the obtained results from Lab 1, which was 3.27 times 10 to the negative 9th coulombs, and the charge in Lab 2, which was 1.3 times 10 to the negative 8th coulombs, so a significant increase in the charge. So assumptions that needed to be made beforehand were that air resistance did not need to be factored in, that the tape was treated as a line charge, as well as that each U-tape had the same amount of charge evenly distributed throughout it. So the measured values used were the same as the previous lab, with the mass of tape, tape length, tape width, atom area, number of atoms, and the distance between the tapes being the same, and also that the model system was determined to be tape B, while its surroundings were determined to be the apparatus supporting the system, tape A, in the lab room. And a quick go over of how the experiment worked. Tape A was charged, tape B was charged, and tape A was brought as close as possible to tape E in order to observe the effect one had on the other. This is the computer model used to give us our values. So as you can see here, we use the same electric field function used in Lab 0, and the estimated net charge on the tape, Q, was inputted as well as the mass of the tape. And then in this section, we go through the different iterations of the charges in each tape, going through taking each infinitesimal charge throughout the tape, summing all of that together, and then using the Coulomb's law and the force created by line charge equations in order to obtain our final results. So again, the magnitude of the charge was found to be 1.299 times 10 to the negative 8 coulombs, which I calculated to be at 397% greater than the point charge calculation. So some likely sources of error were mishandling the charged tape as well as humidity in the room, and we could also probably have gained a more precise answer if we had taken more differentials of the dE field equation in our code. And for our discussion, if we had modeled each of our tapes as a single point charge in the previous lab, we would have gotten the same answer as in the previous lab, which is 3.27 times 10 to the negative 9th, instead of the 1.299 times 10 to the negative 8th that we got in this lab. So these estimates differ so greatly because the process utilized in Lab 2 took the electric field as a sum of all of the points in the tape, as opposed to the manner used in Lab 1, which only took the individual points. And this causes a big difference because the sum of the uh, points provides a greater charge. So that's all. Thank you very much.